Hello everyone, this is Yaujo, and I am going to post a response to President Obama's State of the Union address last night. I agree with a lot of what he said about our foreign policies and saving energy and stuff along those lines, but what I don't agree with and where I really have to draw the line and even become offended is where he tried to invite other states to raise the dropout rate to force kids to either graduate or be 18 to drop out, or I guess leave the public school system in general. I noticed that later on in his speech he quoted Abraham Lincoln, and to start off with my point is, according to what I've known, Abraham Lincoln technically dropped out in the 5th grade. So it's like, you're disrespecting dropouts, but you're going to quote one of the most respected dropouts in the history of America. You know what I mean? And what I'm going to say is, it's wrong to try to force people to stay in school when they have alternate situations that they have to work out and are trying to deal with at the same time, because staying in the mainstream school system where you have to sit in the classroom for 6 to 8 hours a day depending on where you live can just be a bigger distraction to more important things. I mean, I'm not saying that there's anything more important than education. Education is very important. It is one of the main milestones in your life. You're always going to need it. But going to school is not important. There are many other alternatives. There's homeschooling. There's alternative schooling like charter schools, and there's what I'm doing, G.E.D. programs. Those things are made to fit people's lifestyles and what they need to do and keep them educated. Not all travesties in people's lives happen when they're 18. Some things start happening when people are 16, 15. Some people have to drop out earlier than that because of their own health problems. And it would be ignoring the needs of the individual to force them to go through this program just because you see it's best, or your experiences and what happened and the way things were for you at the time are not the same experiences of what somebody else is going to. What I'm saying is, whatever school system or however you went through school in your life, Obama, or anybody else's life, that's not the same as what we're having to go through today with all the economic turmoil, basically all the social morale turmoil. If you haven't noticed, all these teenagers killing themselves from suicide and from bullying, and people even being bullied in lower grades but it going unnoticed. First of all, everything is important, but the first thing I'm going to address is something that related to my issue, which is safety. I dropped out of school because I was not safe in my school. I was being bullied. I reported it to the main office, and I reported it to the head of security staff, and nothing was done about it. I obviously wasn't safe. I dropped out. Now, the reason why I left the whole public school system in its entirety is because when I said that I wanted to leave school, other options were not discussed. It was either you stay in public school or you drop out. I don't know if that's how all of Louisiana works, but that's how they treat you in Shreveport. And then there are people that have their other situations, a lot of which I hear are 12th graders and 11th graders that catch a hard time in high school, and the 12th graders that fail that last test, so they drop out and get their GEDs instead of having to go through all the 12th grade again just to take that one test. And then there are, of course, a lot of what's going on these days is teenagers that have to find jobs. They have to get either part-time or full-time jobs to help support their families because everybody's struggling, and trying to force them to stay in a 7-hour setting instead of letting them be in a part-time alternate school setting so they can work more to help their families is a very big neglect on their needs and a very big neglect on their economic needs. A lot of people have health issues. One of my friends dropped out because she has a very very bad type of diabetes. She was too sick to come to school, so she pretty much had to drop out. Because I don't know what her situation was. I don't know if they discussed her alternate things, but I mean, when you leave school around here, they call it dropping out anyway, pretty much no matter what you did, unless you go to private school. And there are people that live in places with lack of options. Some people don't have charter schools in the area. Some people don't even know what charter schools are. And they're, the place in smaller places where you have a different situation, but there are not a lot of options. But that's usually where homeschooling comes in at best. But then there are people that can't afford to get a private tutor, and they can't afford to stay at home with their child or teen, and situations like that. And then of course there's the big issue that's on the rise, and I don't know what we're going to do about that, is teen pregnancy. People have to drop out to work to support their own families, their babies, their baby mama or baby daddy or whatever, because people aren't very likely to put other things before their own children. Even as selfish teenagers, they can, when it comes to a new life, they can come around to some things if they're the better people. And also at the end of that, off topic, I did notice that you said something about piracy, and you did say something about a trade agreement, which did scare the fuck out of me. And because I know about ACTA, and I am fighting it. I knew that when I did vote for you individually, not speaking for anybody else. I voted for you. I knew I wouldn't agree with everything that you would do and everything that you would say, because that's the way human beings are. But I agreed with most of it enough to vote for you. But that I can't let pass. And I also noticed that you didn't say anything about equality between homosexual, bisexual, and trans people and other types of queer people, trying to get more rights enacted for us. And that a teenager just killed himself a few days ago, and you couldn't fit something about that in. You couldn't even fit in school safety to make policies more strict on harassment and bullying. That's if somebody can just come out of the woodworks and say that they will try to at least help fix these problems, because of course there are no guarantees, especially when you have Congress and House Representatives that pretty much rebel against everything you say. But if you could at least try to fix these social problems. I understand the economy is important and everything, but we have to start with our morale. If we don't have morals and protections, we don't have anything. So if you can fix these problems, you can fix other problems. People will find more importance and have more. If people have a safety to do things, they'll be able to do them. And you're not really showing us that you're going to give us any of these safeties. As a matter of fact, it seems like you're going to try to take away some of these things from us. You're going to force people to stay in undesirable environments, maybe environments that they're not safe, where they don't feel like they're, even drop out just because they don't even feel like they're learning anything. It's a waste of time. That's a good enough reason. If your system is so crappy where it is a waste of your time, your energy, and especially your money, because a lot of money goes into going to school, you shouldn't be forced to go. Your parents shouldn't be forced to send you, or your guardians or whatever. And social equality, legal equality to homosexual, bisexual, trans, and other types of queer people, and pretty much just everything else that we have socially going on. I think our social politics will fix our economy. But, I'm not a politician and I care about people, so I guess I'm automatically wrong about that. But it's just, I'm as a dropout, I'm obviously very smart. I'm not lazy. I'm sick of being disrespected because nobody wants to know my individual situation. They just want to mark me off as somebody being lazy, stupid, too rebellious, or pretty much anything else that goes along with dropout stereotype. I am rebellious. I'm far from lazy. I'm far from stupid. And I'm not hopeless. But my safety comes before high school drama bullshit. And I just want to put that out there.